Hi guys, Ian from DIY Home and Gardening. 8th of September at the allotment in front of all of those vines, and today talking squash, winter squash, how to know when they're ready for harvesting, and well, what are the telltale signs. So let's turn the camera around and have a look together. So this video on when to harvest squash really is in a bit of a response to getting quite a lot of messages in probably about the last week, 10 days, both on YouTube and probably more so on Instagram, from people unsure as to whether it's the right time or for harvesting, or whether indeed their squash are fully ripe enough to harvest. So I thought I'd run through it with you. Within this bed I've got 3 types of winter squash, which we'll get onto in a bit. And I just wanted to show you the easiest ways, or the telltale ways, to work out whether your squash is indeed ripe and suitable for harvesting. So method 1, now these are butternut squash. Method 1, have a look on the seed packet that of the variety that you've bought, to work out whether what you've got there is in fact what it should look like according to the seed packet. Should it be darker than that? And that'll be a bit of a guide to you. Equally, if you've got some other fruits forming, then you can make a bit of a judgment call as to whether that one there, which we can see is really immature and not ripe, but are those two ripe compared to that one, or compared to this one here that actually I know is pretty ripe and has good uniform coloration throughout the whole thing, and yeah, is certainly darker than those two. So by looking at the other fruits that I have within the allotment, and if I brought over the seed packet, I'd be able to tell that first off, on appearance, those are not suitably ripe. Then we come to the next part, which again is sort of a coloration element. Those which are Yuki-Curies, are they as dark as that? No. Are they as uniform as that? No, they're not. The only time you're going to get difference in uniformity is when the fruits have been on the ground. So where the light levels can't get to them, there's going to be discoloration to the base, and so that's nice and uniform. We can tell which bit was set on the ground because the light hasn't allowed that to ripen fully. So the next bit we're looking at, which I tell you, is, do they sound hollow? Now actually that one sounded pretty hollow. That one you can hear is more solid, so good indication there as well. That's another secondary one for it. Is it ripe? So good sounding. Then trying to see one. Okay, then we've got the third section, which is down to the stalk here. Now that stalk there is green, whereas this stalk here is looking darker. It's gone brown. Indeed, that one there, you can see that it's become more gnarled, contorted and drying. That's not as dry as these though. Certainly not as dry as these. So again, look at your stem coloration. The stem will help tell you as to when it's ready. So you've got a few things to go through there. And then the last thing, which is kind of your nail test really, So I'll just show you on this. So you just press gently with your nail, and if it's leaving a mark, we'll do that again, then it's not ripened, so the skin is still soft. You can look on that. It's nice and hard. I know it's hard. Same with on that. My tip would be that actually if you're planning to show something or show one of your fruits, don't do it where it's obvious. Do it on your underside there. So this one here for me ticks all the boxes. It's got a good coloration to it. It's solid in coloration. It matches what it's supposed to look like. It's got the hollow sound into it. You can see that starting to, well, that has gnarled and the stem is discolouring. In actual fact, the plant is going into its dieback mode, so it's not going to do anything more than that. So this one here ticks the boxes. Oh, and we did the scrape test, and the outside was solid enough. So this one here is suitable for harvesting. So what I tend to do, I'll make a cut right back at the previous leaf joint, and if this one had been extending further, which incidentally it had, but the one of these Turk's turbans that was further along had also ripened. So we cut it there, then cut off any tendrils and any leaf, because they won't actually dry. All that will happen as they start degrading, they will rot, so they won't actually dry. So that gives you that. So we got that little bit, and then this piece here being the stem, this section here is the vine. So then what you do, you cut the vine roughly 2 to 3 inches, depending how it is, and that will form your T-piece here. Now what will happen, this T-piece will dry out, and you can see actually there's loads of moisture in there still, and as this dries out it will degrade a little bit, but by keeping this section here it means that it's not going to degrade far enough back to affect the stem and, more importantly, the fruit. So we are creating this, what is called a T-piece or T-handle. Although it's called that, don't lift your fruit by the handle, because you will actually snap it to the base of the crown there, and you don't want to do that. So harvest done. Let me show you where we put them. So we just put him into the shed. Rather difficult, one-handed. So pop that one down there, and that other Turk's turban can go in there. So these ones have already been harvested previous days. And so what I do is they stay in here because it's a nice, dry, warm environment. No risk of them getting wet, a bit like this morning where we had heavy downpour. So yeah, they stay in here to go through the next stage, which is the term is called curing. So that is where this still relatively soft skin and this, so it goes from being sort of a waxy coloration, where it's still a little bit on the soft side, to this more matte coloration. Let me get it more into the light so you can see. And it changes feel as well. So these are what you class as cured. So they've been in here, so a few days, or curing I should say, been in here for a few days. You can see that the stalk is showing signs of dryness, drying out. The vine is drying out, and so what I tend to do, I leave them in here for another couple of weeks or 3 weeks till I get to about the end of September, early October, and then from here they'll all be cured and can then take them over to or back to the house, where I pop them into the garage, which is frost-free environment, and basically store them in the crates until need to eat them. And to be honest, harvesting now, so we're in September. Harvesting will go through to about the end of the month, depending on what the sun's doing. Once these are cured, these will actually survive and be perfectly usable until you get to about March, April of next year. So done right, harvested right, cured right, it's a really good crop to grow, and gives you sort of good self-sufficiency, I guess, on this type of plant and fruit. So that's it done. Video done. How to know when to harvest a winter squash and how to store them. So video done. If you've got any questions, then obviously send those questions to me. I'll do my very best to answer them for you. If you like what I'm doing with this video or any other, then please subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit that reminder button so you don't miss out on the future videos that I'm doing. And above all else, just enjoy yourself, have fun. And I do say it fairly frequently, but maybe try growing something different. And if you grow, say, Yukikuri and you like this, maybe try growing butternut squash or Turk's turban or something else. So till next time, bye for now.